Call this meeting to order. It is 6 o'clock. Roll call.
Alex Cantu, present.
Claudia Ochoa, present. Nereida Cantu, present.
Esky Ochoa. I do declare a quorum. Dr. Science.
Thank you, Ms. Ochoa. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our meeting. Will everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone.
Let's be.
Do we have any public comments?
We have no public comments.
Okay, then we'll move on to approval of tax collector's report. Can I entertain a motion?
So move.
Second.
Also move items 1, 2, and 3.
With approval of July 2020 tax collector's report, I have a motion. I have a second. If there's no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Approval of minutes. Motion.
Madam President, make a motion to approve items 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
Did you say 1, 2, and 3?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
For
Sorry,
some reason, I'm letting the video go. We're having a real bad reception here.
I have a motion. I have a second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. There's no discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Superintendent report. Dr. Science.
Thank you, Ms. Ochoa. It gives me great pleasure this evening to do the recognition for Clem Garza, our Technology Instructional Resource Director, for her instrumental leadership during the COVID-19 transition to virtual learning. And Ms. Magda Villarreal, our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, is going to do this recognition.
Thank you, Dr. Science. Good afternoon, Madam President, Board of Trustees, Dr. Science, and community. This afternoon, I am pleased to recognize Ms. Clem Garza, Technology Instructional Resource Director, for her instructional leadership during the COVID-19 transition to virtual learning. From the book, The 21 Indispensable Qualities of a Leader, John C. Maxwell states, "Just about anyone will serve if compelled to do so, and some will serve in a crisis. But you can only really see the heart of someone who initiates service to others." Great leaders see the need, they seize the opportunity, and serve without expecting anything in return. Ms. Clem Garza exemplifies that behavior. Her department not only worked on providing technology resources for our teachers, but also configured those resources and trained our whole entire district. So please join me in recognizing and celebrating Ms. Clem Garza. Thank you, Ms. Garza. You are greatly appreciated, and you're an asset for our students, staff, and community.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Garza.
Congratulations.
I'd like to just, say that this was a long overdue item. I know that you all have a special and amazing team, and you all have, since March, have been working continuously around the clock to make sure that all our students get the proper resources so they can make sure they fulfill their education. And I just want to thank it from the entire board, each and every one of you that, did an amazing job and faced up to this challenge. And we're very proud to have each and every one of you in our district.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for everything, Clem.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Call of Duty.
Thank you, Clem.
Thank you, Ms. Garza,
Congratulations.
again. Thank you so much.
I mean,
You're very welcome.
if there was ever a time to be tested, this was it, and you did an amazing job as a leader of that department, and we can't thank you enough. As a parent and as a board member, very appreciative of you.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Garza. And on the same note, if there's anything else we can do as a board to help you, please don't hesitate to ask us at all for anything. You've done amazing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, honestly. Sorry, I just get emotional, but thank you very much. It's a job that I love to do, and I'll continue doing because I love it and love our district. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Clem Garza, and thank you, Board of Trustees. Our next item is discussion on district reopening plan for school year 2020-2021. And Clem Garza is going to share with us some new information on a new project for internet services for kids in our most rural areas. And so I think Clem is going to start sharing the screen so that she can tell us about this new project that we're working on.
Yes, ma'am. Hi. Thank you, Dr. Science, school board members, executive cabinet. Thank you for allowing me to speak with you. I think I don't know, Ms. Villarreal, if you were going to be able to put it up, but I'll go ahead and speak to it. This is a joint venture between Hidalgo County and La Jolla ISD to provide Wi-Fi to needed areas. So that's how we, what it is. And our participation pretty much is just to allow the county to come on into our district to provide towers. I'd like to go ahead and mention the areas where the Wi-Fi will be provided to our students. We had, this was something along with the CARES funding. Should I go ahead and continue? I'm not sure if she was going to be able to.
Yes, you can continue, Clem.
Okay. All righty. So we met last week to pretty much finalize the project. We started off, first of all, with like 3 towers, 4 towers. And then last week we met with the IT director from Hidalgo County, Mr. Daniel Salinas. And we were happy to hear that throughout our district, we're going to have 6 towers that are going to be constructed so they can provide Wi-Fi service to our communities. We will start with 6 towers total. 2 towers will be built in the Sullivan City area. We're gonna have one where El Pinto Road is in Sullivan City, and the other one for the WIC building. And they decided that one because that is county property, so it wouldn't cost them anything to go ahead and construct there. So it'll service about 762 students in the Sullivan City area. Another tower that we went ahead and let them know the areas of most need. So we had canvassed the areas in our district, and this is how we came about selecting these areas. One tower will be built, it'll service north and south of 7 Mile Line. It will be placed near the Awasud Water Tower and right next to Science Middle School, and that will service 1,586 students in that area. It will cover like Pueblo de Palmas, north and south of 7 Mile Line, like I said. Another tower will be placed at Seguin Elementary, as a matter of fact, on our property. That will service 421 students that live out there in that area. Another tower will be built by Zapata Elementary. That's 755 students will be serviced there. And then another tower, the last tower will be built right close to J.D. Salinas Middle School, and that will service about 2,000 students. So needless to say, we're very ecstatic, very excited about this joint venture between Hidalgo County and La Jolla ISD. The only thing that is required of our district, pretty much on the 3 campuses that I mentioned, is that they ask for a 10 by 10 foot cemented area to where the tower and where the facility is going to be, fenced in, and we pretty much just maintain the area around it. These towers will belong to our district forever and ever, till however long it can continue, providing free public Wi-Fi service to our community and to our students. And hopefully they will go ahead and be finished. Mr. Salinas mentioned about a month from our meeting that we had on Thursday. He said they would be about done in about a month. So we do have the maps. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to share that, but there are some maps so that you can see the zones, but that's pretty much where these are gonna be. And like I said, it's not gonna cost us a penny. It's a partnership, and it's a pretty much joint venture. They will pay for all construction, everything, digging the holes. We just need to give them that piece of property on our 3 campuses. And they said they would talk to Awasud, the company at Awasud, for those 2 water towers they were gonna need access to. And of course, the WIC building belongs to them. So it's a pretty sure thing, I think, in my opinion.
I just want to say thank you to Ms. Garza. I know that this is a process that we've been back and forth with for about 3 to 4 months. And at the beginning of this process, it was 3 towers that were only going to be able to service about 1,500 students.
Yes.
And credit to our administration in La Jolla and Ms. Clem Garza, they went and pretty much doubled that to 6 towers. And I mean, just made it more available to our students for the ISD. Back and forth, and with the cooperation from La Jolla ISD, Awasud, and our technology department, I mean, we're able to say that we're providing free Wi-Fi for a good chunk of our students in La Jolla ISD. So it's a great accomplishment. Thank you, Ms. Garza, for all your hard work.
Absolutely,
Yes,
sir. You're very welcome.
Thank you so much, Ms. Garza. I want to thank you, the first one, for the recognition. I was having problems with my audio, so congratulations on that, and thank you for accomplishing this with our county and doing this for our kids. So muchas gracias.
You're very
Thank you,
welcome, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Garza. So the total number of students that these towers will provide internet access to is 5,524 students.
Wow, that's
And,
amazing.
Ms.
That's
Garza
good.
actually went address by address and identified these 5,524 students and gave the information to our county administrators. So even just the identification was a monumental task. So thank you, Ms. Garza, for all of that work.
And if I might say, I really want to attribute my team, my guys, Fernando, Joey, Jerry, Oscar, Joey Tanguma, my secretary, Diana, Yoli, Roel, Mal, everybody, all of our technicians. It's been a joint effort, and really, we can't do this much without, if you would give me just a minute just to thank them. They've been nonstop, and I'm very blessed to have an amazing team, and I really have to thank them as well for believing in what our district is about, and that is servicing our kids. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Garza.
Hey, Dr. Sainz, real quick, I don't want to deviate from the item since we're talking about the Wi-Fi. I know I mentioned, I know we're providing hotspots for the kids, and I know this is going to help tremendously, but is there anything, are we going to have any left over just, because I know that some concerns have been teachers since they're using their internet service. And I think their bill goes by gigabytes or something like that. And maybe we have some spare, we can go ahead and distribute those to you.
I think that is a plan that I know that Clem has talked about. Any additional hotspots that we have, we will give to teachers that have told us that they need support with Wi-Fi.
Thank you.
One thing, and if you don't mind my saying, one thing that we're trying to have our principals help us with also is to identify like siblings, like that, like say perhaps there's 2 or 3 kids in one elementary, perhaps, because one hotspot will service at least, those 3. So we're having them help us with that so that we can have them stretch a little bit further.
Thank you, Ms. Garza.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Ochoa, that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Ms. Garza.
You're welcome.
Thanks for the superintendent's report. We'll move on to discussion items. Discussion of bond refunding opportunities for interest savings.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce Mr. Miguel de los Santos, and he is with Estrada Hinojosa Investment Bankers, and he's going to lead this discussion. Welcome, Dr. de los Santos. Dr. Mr. De Los Santos, you might be on mute.
Sorry,
Yes.
I had it off.
Thank you.
President Ochoa, members of the board, Dr. Science, staff that is present. As your financial advisors, we're always looking for opportunities that might save the school district money. We're not always involved with you in trying to raise new money or borrow money, but in this particular case, it's a savings opportunity that we feel you need to look at very carefully. With me is also from the firm is Bobby Villarreal. He is going to be sharing our presentation with you. I know you have a hard copy, but I wanted to do it on the screen. I'm going to go pretty quick through it. It's a lot of information, but I'm going to zero in more so on the summary pages that will show you how much money you will be saving if you do these transactions. If you look at, and also before we move on, congratulations on those towers. That's an amazing thing that's going to happen for your kids. I'm all over the place in different school districts doing what I'm doing with you right now, and it's really great what all of the school districts are doing with the county and with their own money or whatever, but it's great opportunities for the children that are in the outskirts. If you look at page 1 of the refunding analysis, we have the district's outstanding debt, and there's several charts there. And I think Bobby went to sleep on me. There he is. What I want you to focus on is the last 3 lines on the top, on the very first chart there. You'll notice one is shaded in green and the other 2 are in blue. Of all the debt that you have, that is the eligible debt that you can refinance now and save considerable money. You have Series 2010 bonds, Series 2011, and Series 22 for a total of approximately $77 million that you will see when we show you you save quite a bit of money. And the main reason is that interest rates are at historical lows compared to what you sold your bonds at in those years. Pages 3 and 4 are summary, are the detail to a summary page I'm going to go through with you. But I want to zero you in. The first part there is the 2010 bonds. And the second part is the 2011. And if you'll notice, that column is the existing coupon. Those are your interest rates for those bonds right now. And if you go to the next to the last column, the refinancing will take you from that 4.5 that you have to 0.8%, not even 1%. So you can see in the last column, the rate differences between what your money is out right now at and what your money will be out. So by saving those large amounts of interest rates, you end up saving a lot of money. The next page is a similar page, but it shows you, instead of the interest rates, it shows you the differences in payments, and the difference of those interest column that says savings, that is what you save for each of those years for those bonds. And the total savings for those $16 million is $1 million. At the very bottom of the page, or well, let's go to the next page, Bobby, where it's a summary of the whole package. If you look at what we're talking about here, you are refunding, you're taking out that 16 million, the third line, you're taking out 16 million and replacing it with $15.6 million worth of debt, saving $1 million, 1,024,000, and it's about a 6% savings, the middle there. And if you look at that 6% savings, what we're saying is, if you don't do this transaction, you continue to pay the way that you're paying right now, at the end of the payment period, you will have paid 6% more than you had to, or $1 million more than you had to. If you look at the 2 lines where it says average coupon of refunded bonds, the average interest rate out there for all of your bonds in this is 3.9%. And the new coupon, the new percent would be under 1%, which is 0.669. And that is what saves you the $1 million. Those are the 2010 and 2011 bonds. The next series of bonds that we are proposing that you may want to refund are what we call taxable bonds. And the difference between the first part were non-taxable, these are taxable. Non-taxable means that when the bonds are sold, the buyers get a break from the government on their taxes because they're buying bonds from a school district or a city or whomever. In this case, the taxable market is what corporations use, not school districts. But the taxable market is so good that you can take 2012 bonds and sell them as taxables. It doesn't affect the district other than positively. And if you look at pages 7 and 8, it's kind of like I said, the detail to the summary page is going to follow. If you look at the second column on this page that we're on, your bonds right now are out at 5%, más o menos. And if you look at the next to the last column, those are the interest rates for each of those maturities, for each line, the interest rates that you would get. And then the shaded green at the end is the savings and interest rates. The next page, so that's the interest page, the savings, actual savings in dollars. If you will look at the shaded column, the payments that you're making right now, and this particular financing, you would be saving about $560,000 a year for a total of $7.3 million. The next page is a summary page of those two pages I just went through with you. And the summary page shows that you would be refunding 61 million. You would be taking out 61,780. That's your debt right now, and replacing it with new debt of 61,585,000. And if you look at NFV, that's the actual savings in payments that you're making, would be 7,342,000. And that middle part in the shaded area is at 10.5%. That means that, again, like I said earlier, if you were not to do this transaction, you continue to pay the way that you're paying, you will have paid 10% more than what you needed to pay. The average annual savings is $564,000 on your payments. And your average interest rate right now is 4.46, would drop down to 1.60. There's a point there that says negative arbitrage. It says $1.6 million. That is an IRS term and an IRS law that the IRS, if you're refunding your bonds in advance, which you are because they're 2012, they should be refunded in 2022. That the IRS will not let you make money with the money that you have. So that they're saying there's another $1.6 million there that you can have if you wait 2 more years to refund these bonds. Now, generally we wait, but in this case, the market is just so good that even leaving those $1.6 million on the table, if the interest rates were to move up just half a point or half of a percent between now and 2 years, your savings would go away. So if you look at the very bottom part where it says 79%, that's an 8-to-1. Your savings is almost 8-to-1 for the negative ARB. Usually the industry standard is 3-to-1. If your savings is at least 3 times as much as your negative ARB, financial advisors will recommend that the client look seriously at it. The next page is a summary page of both of the financings together. And if you look at the total amount would be 77 million with a net future value savings of 8.3 million, 8.367. Now these numbers, the average annual savings for all of your bonds that are outstanding, you would be paying $642,000 less a year. It's probably close to, I would venture to say that's probably close to 1 penny off of your INS tax rate. I don't remember exactly what your values are. These rates were run on 8/13/2020. They have been at historical lows. Uh, the opportunity is there for you to refinance. I had discussed it with Mr. Trevino and decided that we would present it to you as an information item, and that if the board feels like it is something that you want to pursue, this savings, that at the next board meeting, I believe your next board meeting, we have a sample a timetable for you. Tonight, on the timetable, tonight we're presenting to you, it's a separate document that Bobby has, it's probably not loaded yet, but tonight we're presenting to you. Then we would present for you on the 9th, which is your next board meeting, we would present for you the action item to move forward with this financing. The action item that you would approve at that time, and you have done it previously, we have presented to you some of these opportunities before, would be an order prepared by bond counsel, a legal document, and then you can see all of the activities that would happen between today, which is the very top date there, and October the 21st, which is when we would price or issue the bonds, all the way down to November 17th when the deal would actually close. So it's almost a 2.5 month process, but after that time, you will be paying $600,000 less on the debt that you have outstanding than you are paying right now. If there are any questions, I would be happy to address them at this time.
I don't have a question, Mr. De Los Santos, but I just want to say thank you. I know that ever since you led La Joya ISD as a superintendent, you've been looking out for our best interests. And I think we're all very grateful that you found these different avenues for us to be able to save some money, especially right now when things are tight with this COVID situation.
Thank you, sir. If you want to move forward with it, then I will work with Mr. Trevino and Dr. Science to bring it before you for official action at your next board meeting. And good luck. You're opening of schools.
Thank you, Dr. De Los Santos.
Dr. Science.
Thank you.
Does that conclude your discussion items, Dr. Science?
Yes,
We'll move on.
thank you.
Thank you. Can I entertain a motion for approval for all items on consent agenda?
So move.
Have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Ochoa. There's no discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. We will proceed to contracts. Can I,
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to approve items 1 and 2 under contracts.
I'll second.
motion have a second? And there's no discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. We'll go under bids. Can I entertain a motion for approval of property and casualty insurance, CSP 2020-49?
I have a question. Is anything changing from last year? Are there any changes?
Ms. Ochoa, you want to second that? So we can start the discussion? I didn't hear a second. That's fine. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Ochoa. Yes.
To answer your question, Ms. Ochoa, the change from last year, from the last time, was that the bidder came in and due to the current claims that we had, they increased the deductible on the named storms from 1% to 2% of the value of the building or the damaged building. And that effect will become effective September 1st. Right now, we're still at 1% up to August 31st.
And that's been the only change?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Were you able to look into something further as to far? You had said something about a product to purchase, perhaps the deductible would go down.
That is something that if you're directed, after approval, we can negotiate with them. They did say that they could work with something with us, but not a guarantee. But we would definitely try to bring it down a little bit, at least the cost.
That did happen after.
Mhm.
Okay, very good. So we have a motion and I have a second. If there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. We'll move on to approval of self-funded employee insurance benefits plan CSP 2020-60. Can I have a motion? Can I entertain a motion?
I so move on that.
I have a motion, I have a second.
Second, again, same question. Did anything change?
Can I-
Mr. Trevino?
No changes on this one.
Any further questions? If not, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Approval of employee voluntary insurance benefit plan, CSP 2020-61. Can I entertain a motion?
Take the same as well, right?
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. What did you ask, Mr. Cantu?
No, I'm just, on these items, on this particular item, I would just want to ask, everything stayed the same since the last time around, right?
Yes, sir.
We have a motion, we have a second. If there's any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion
Have
passes.
we ever worked with
What's that?
I didn't hear what you said.
like in the life plan? Have we ever worked with the standard, the company? In the past,
On the
on the law part?
Okay, on the whole, I'm sorry. I'm not sure I can get that information for you unless you have it, Mr. Rodriguez, if you're on the line. Not sure we have in the past.
No, sir, we don't, not in the past.
Not in the past, okay.
Okay, because I did have some concern, on that particular company. So we have never worked with them. So this is going to be the first time that we're actually going to be dealing with them.
Well, right now, they're our existing carrier for our disability insurance for our employees.
But it's not this company, right?
Yes, it is. It's standard.
What were your concerns, Ms. Hernandez?
Well, I've gotten calls stating that they don't actually get back to them the way they should. Okay, so a lot of them have to really even contact Ms. Salinas to see if they can actually talk to somebody regarding that.
And this is for disability insurance?
This is for, yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I was asking if this is a new company that we were dealing with, standard.
No, sir, it's for life insurance.
The voluntary insurance.
It's the entire voluntary package, right?
Right.
If your concern, Ms. Hernandez, is just for the disability, right?
Yes, for the disability.
We would follow up with the company and work with them as far as for them to improve their customer service to our employees. And that's something that we also, me and Mr. Rodriguez have talked about, of improving the services that we provide to our employees and assist them as much as we can to get the process and communicate much better with the companies and so forth, especially when there are claims.
Is there any way possible that we can go ahead and approve the rest of the voluntary product except for the disability? Until we get further information?
That would put,
I just want Mr. Hernandez's concerns to be addressed, that's all.
I mean, what was the rating? I mean, when you guys went in and compared it to everybody else?
Because we currently have the standard, it's a current company that we have. And as far as we have had an incident where things like that they didn't get, it didn't go their way, or they did not get their services performed. But overall, I believe what I've heard is that they're pretty fast at processing their payments, the reimbursements. That's what I've heard on that one. So based on the experience that we've had, that we've dealt with, we use that as also as a.
But what wasn't nothing changed for the last time around? Am I right?
Right. No, it's the same recommendation as the last time around. Yes.
I'm just worried. I mean, I don't have a problem, you know, very. I just don't want to delay the process to where it's going to affect our employees, because as it is, we're already, you know, on a time crunch to make sure that nothing gets delayed on our employees.
Did you have a motion already, Alex?
Yes, there was a motion on the table for approval. Here, package. I know there's a delay on my end, extreme delay, so it's very unstable. So I do have a motion and a second for approval on the voluntary insurance benefits plans. And I did call for a vote. And so my understanding, everybody voted yes, but I know there's a huge delay on my part. I've already have unstable internet right now. So Mr. Flores, I don't know on your end, I know you have a little bit more of a, you're listening in.
Madam President,
Mr. Choi,
I have a delay. I have a delay as well. I'm having a delay as well. SP, can you hear me?
I am not understanding what Mr. Salinas is saying.
So, I also have a delay on my end, SP. Then I have a delay.
I understand. Mr. Flores, what did you hear on your end?
Mr. Choi, I heard that there was a motion and a second. I did hear some questions. However, I did, also hear you call the vote.
Correct. So, I mean,
I just need to make sure that this agents that we got, that if our employees call, they need to get back to them. You know, their concerns need to be here. I mean, the kind of calls that I've been getting is that, you know, we put in this, I need to change my plan, or I need to see somebody that can actually explain to me what is it that I chose. You know, what does it really cover? There's where I need to make sure that we have the people that are gonna take the time to actually hear, you know, our employees, because there's a lot of questions that they have in there. So basically, Mr. Trevino, that's what I need. I need for you and the whole department to make sure that if any of our employees have a question on, you know, and if they haven't gotten a check or something, that it gets addressed. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And that is our plan. Like I mentioned, we're discussing with Mr. Rodriguez, and that is what we're going to do this year. Do training and reach out to our employees. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We'll move on because there was already a vote on the table. We're going to move on to the next item. It is approval of Access Workers Compensation Insurance CSP 2020-61. Can I entertain a motion?
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. If there's no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Approval of Claims Administration Self-Funded Workers' Compensation Program CSP 2020-63. Can I entertain a motion?
Second.
I have a second. If there's no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. We'll move on to Business and Finance. Can I entertain a motion for approval of allocation of 2021 assessments for La Jolla ISD?
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion for items 1, 2, and 3 to approve.
I'll second, Mr. Garza.
No discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Approval of ordinance number 2020-01, certifying the tax roll for the 2020-2021 school year, setting the tax rate of the minimum of $1.3110 per 100 valuation with $1.0444 for maintenance and operation and 0.2666 for interest sinking for La Joya Independent School District, making certain findings and providing for a severability clause.
Madam President, I ask that the board take no action on this item, and Mr. Joel Trevino has information as to the reason for this.
Okay, hello. Yes, we received some, communicating with other neighboring districts, we got some additional information that since in 2019, the county declared a disaster, we have an option to adjust our proposed tax rate that we have right now, and that would help us generate at least about $2.5 million more in state funds. Of course, no increase to our taxpayers as far as not changing the actual tax rate, but just making some modifications on this one. This is some information that we would, if you take no action on this one, we will have a work session at the next board meeting and give you the information, the comparisons.
With that being said, I'd like to make a motion to postpone that item. And again, thank you to our finance and administration, because out of what I've heard today, La Joya SD with these two motions that we might do in the next meeting, we'll be having a savings of $3 million, 3.1.
I'll second, Mr. Garza.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Approval of application of contractors payment request number 15 for La Joya ISD job order contract with Performance Service Inc., elementary school tracks and school security gates.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion for items 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
I'll second, Mr. Garza.
I have a motion, I have a second. There's no discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. We don't have anything under instruction and student services, so we'll move on to HR, requesting 3 licensed professional counselors, LPCs. Can I entertain a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion, I have a second. There's no discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. It is now 6:43 p.m. and we will move into executive session under Texas Government Code 551.071, 551.072, and 551.074. We are out of executive session and it's 7:23.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion under letter H personnel, items 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 as discussed in executive session.
I second that motion.
I have a motion, I have a second. There's no discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. At 7:24.